Welcome to the Kings of the Village. I'm Stephion. Man, listen. Bill Cosby got out of jail yesterday. He was released due to some technicalities. But, yes, that's a big part of the story because I'm sure there are a lot of people feeling some type of way. I'm not even sure, though, in this case, that it is a 50-50 split in terms of how people feel about it. I think now that we are over the initial shock, we can process this, right? So for you guys that don't know, Bill Cosby was released because the Supreme Court overturned Cosby's 2018 conviction for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constan. It happened Wednesday morning, after which Cosby left the state correctional institution in Phoenix in Philadelphia. People were feeling some kind of way about this, and rightfully so. And as well, I think it was adjusted yesterday. So, obviously, a lot of reaction, but one in particular about in just a minute is Phylicia Rashad. You may remember her as Bill Cosby's wife, Claire Huxtable, the lawyer on the Cosby Show. The show ended in the early or late 90s, back over on NBC. So she came out and said a few things, but I think what people are feeling is like, what does this mean for the survivors? What does this mean for the women's movement? What does this mean for women when they come out everywhere, when they want to address this issue about the things that men have been doing for eons, especially men of power, men of Hollywood, like the Harvey Weinsteins of the world? But I think it sets the tone that if you got wealth, power, and you find a way to work the system somehow, this unbalanced justice system that we continue to see, that why bother? And then it opens up the door or doors for men to continue to do things like this. Well, yesterday, Phylicia Rashad, the actress, and the newly appointed dean had the nerve to tweet, "Finally, a terrible wrong is being righted and a miscarriage of justice is being corrected." Phylicia Rashad says she fully, now this is what she came out with after, because I'm going to read some of the tweets that people drug her ass about, and rightfully so. But Phylicia Rashad came out and said she fully supports survivors of sexual assault coming forward after initially celebrating Cosby's release from prison. The actress who played the Cosby wife, Claire Huxtable, as I mentioned at the top of the show on the Cosby, addressed her insensitive tweet on Wednesday afternoon because he was released. And so she went out and thought it would be very fitting to go out and celebrate him. All too many times that we continue to see stuff like this happen, but particularly in the black community. I don't know why people think they're going to gain support or get the support of us because they are black. I think R. Kelly thought he was going to do that. I think we thought a couple of other people thought they would be able to do that. But doing terrible acts, whether it's sexual assault, molestation, you should be thrown under the jail. I don't know why we continue to celebrate bad behavior just because they're a part of our community. Kind of like we did when the conviction was overturned for O.J. Simpson, or he was found not guilty, and black people all on the streets were celebrating. Why? When these people do nothing for you or they're not a part of our community. And if you do an injustice, you should serve the time. And Bill Cosby even admitted to drugging and raping women. So why would she find it befitting to go online and post something like this, like he was, dealt an injustice? So with the backlash of her support for Cosby, accused of sexual misconduct by over 60 women, Rashad soon followed up with another post after saying this was an injustice or a mischaracter of injustice. Then she acknowledged the lifelong residual effects of abuse. Now, get this. Cosby has, of course, denied all accusations against him. Quote from Phylicia Rashad, "I fully support survivors of sexual assault coming forward," she continued. "My post was in no way to intend to be insensitive to their truth. Personally, I know from friends and family that such abuse has lifelong residual effects. My heartfelt wishes is for healing. Now, how is that possible, though, if you were saying this man was dealt a miscarriage of judgment? Meaning judgment has prevailed or justice has prevailed and he should be out. How do you support something like that? Now, we know that all 60 women were drugged, but he certainly did admit to doing some of those things. That is a heinous act. There is no way on a technicality just because we were able to do something, he should be out for it. On Wednesday, the court found that the agreement Cosby had with the previous prosecutor in the case, according to the documents obtained by us earlier today, Cosby previously said that he relied on the agreement before agreeing to testify in his accuser's civil lawsuit. Now, the court also ruled that Cosby's case could not be prosecuted again, writing, quote, "He must be discharged and any further prosecution on their particular charges must be barred." Crazy how you could do things like that and the imbalances of justice continues to do shit like that. This is how Trump and his camp are able to get away with things. This is how R. Kelly was able to stay out of jail as long as he did. This is how O.J. Simpson was set free and on and on and on. I'm not just talking about black people, but I am talking about black people right now. You remember Cosby was initially charged in 2015. He was acquitted during the first trial in 2017. The next year, 2018, during the Cosby retrial, he was convicted on all 3 felonies of sexual assault. Prior to the conviction being overturned, Cosby, who has maintained that his encounter with Constand was consensual, had served more than 2 years of the 3 to 10-year prison sentence. He was denied parole just a couple of months ago he was denied. But due to this technicality and the $400 million he's worth, somehow, due to this technicality, he was out. He's out today. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court agreed to review Cosby's case last June. In a statement on Wednesday afternoon, Constance said, in part, quote, "Today's majority decision regarding Bill Cosby is not only disappointing, but of concern in that it may discourage those who seek justice for sexual assault in criminal justice system from reporting or participating in the prosecution, or may force a victim to choose between filming a criminal or civil action." Cosby, meanwhile, said on Twitter, "I have never changed my stance nor my story. I have always maintained my innocence." So back to Constance's point. And like I said earlier, this will certainly hinder the movement of women coming forward at any level, any capacity, race, creed, financial class, what have you, because they know justice will not be on their side. The world has shown over and over. And that's sad to me. When you are wrong, you're wrong. It's not always that black people are dealt injustices, right? Now, I can see if it was like no evidence or Bill Cosby didn't come out and say any testimony when he did say some stuff, but he admitted to that. And so Phylicia Rashad goes on Twitter to go out and says this is a mischaracter of judgment, meaning like, oh, well, they just put him away without any information. He didn't really do this. And she goes, supports this type of behavior. Being a woman, I was just shocked by her boldness, her immediate tweet to support this man. We have to get away from the character of Bill Cosby and Bill Cosby the man. You can love that show, and he was the first dad I ever identified with. He was a great leader and husband. But what he did in real life was disgusting, despicable. And it was a crime. People who have a voice like she does, that sets us back. That sets the entire movement back. People should feel safe to do so and feel like that the justice system will protect them. That is what it was in place for. But we continue to see by millionaires and billionaires that if you have money, connections, and power, you can just about do anything and get away with anything. Cosby goes on to say, thank you to all my fan supporters and friends who stood by me through this ordeal. He continued, special thanks to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court for upholding the rule of law. Well, they did not do that. You found a technicality, a loophole, and was able to get out of it. And now these women, these poor victims, was served in that. So not only did they deal with the life-changing, mental changing stuff that they do with the rest of their lives, now this guy gets to walk out free to his $1 million mansion and gets to eat steak all night. These poor victims have to sit and deal with this. Live in this. And if you're not outraged, something's wrong with you. So Phylicia, Rashad, I just want to know, how long before Howard University decides to dismiss you? Because now you're representing all these people of color, black women, who are left to feel like, well, if I come out to you and admit something to this, will you support me? And I don't believe you will. Because just because he is somebody you admire doesn't absolve him of any wrongdoings. I don't know how this continues to be a thing. Just because I love somebody's music, body of work, commercials, does not mean they get to perform badly. This is why we have to quit naming stuff and giving people statues and platforms. This is why statues, Walk of Fames and things should be given when people die, so we can judge the entire body of their work. Bill Cosby is not a legend. He's not a living legend. He won't go down in history as being a legend. He will go down in history as that creep who drugged and raped women. And Howard University, because she just became a dean there, she was appointed a dean there, that should be ripped. Be thrown away, a fake $2 bill. Couple of things. So, one of the online people wrote, he admitted to drugging and raping women. Why does she limit her replies like quotes don't work? It actually made it worse from this tweet. 3, how long before she deletes this? 24 hours? Next, how long before the position at Howard University gets snatched away? Another quote on Twitter says, I'm sure Phylicia Rashad as being the new dean of Howard University College of Fine Arts will have absolutely no bearing whatsoever on how the program handles students' claim of sexual harassment and assault. Yep, nothing to see here, folks. Shut up. Another person wrote, he raped multiple women, but is being let out of prison because of a prosecutorial incompetence. Yay, justice. Another person wrote, Dear Rashad, is this how you're going to react when a Howard University student tells you they were assaulted by another student, if that student happens to be someone you like or admire? Because what you are telling Howard women is that you don't care if they're raped. There's no way you can get behind supporting somebody. You just can't. So in this instance, kids, your favorite TV mom is loud and wrong once again. There is no miscarriage of justice, and Cosby is being released on a technicality. We know this to be true. People continue to get on a platform and are loud and wrong every single day. I don't know how she comes out of her face and says she fully supports survivors and sexual assaults coming forward, and says in no way does she intend for this to be insensitive to their truth, and talk about how she personally knows the residual long side effects of this, and your heartfelt wish is for healing. Healing for who? For Bill Cosby? You don't get to be raped and get to move on because somebody said they're sorry, or because he served a couple of years in prison. No, he should be in prison for the rest of his life. There is no healing to this. There'll be healing for Cosby because he gets to go home to his $1 million mansion in the hills and eat artichoke dip and steak. But there's no healing for nobody else. for all parties involved, other than his team, who he's paid $1 million to, and whoever else he paid off to find this technicality. There is no healing, Dean Rashad. Howard University, fire her today, please. She's done. She's toast. Why do people continue to get out of pocket for somebody they admire and they like because you like the body of their work, but never think about the man they are, the person they are? Why do people get a pass because they are of influence, wealth, power? And then people actually support this shit. People go on their platforms and support this foolishness. And want to be taken down with it. You want to associate yourself with somebody like that. You want to associate yourself with the Robert Kellys of the world, the Harvey Weinsteins of the world. Who you got up and thought what? You got up, Phylicia Rashad, and thought what? What is this going to do for you personally and for your career to support Bill Cosby? Exactly. And wondering why these thousands of tweets are online of people dragging your ass. Why would you want to just throw your legacy up in smoke like that to support a true man that he is? I'm not even going to say was because he's still alive. Those tendencies don't go anywhere. He is still a monster. He is still who he is. And if he's capable of doing it, he would do it again. People are like, he don't care. He's not sorry. He used his power and influence and money to be able to continue to perform that way and double down on it when he paid whoever he paid to be able to get out. Let's just be true honest right about that. So since he can't be again in a court of law for those particular cases against him, I'm guessing, I'm not a lawyer, we don't have a lawyer on this program today, that they could potentially find something else or other cases, but they will be barred from doing so. So he will be able to be a free man after serving just 2 years of a 10-year sentence in prison. I'm going to leave it there. I just wanted to express my outrage with Homegirl because I don't get it. I just don't understand it. I don't know why people are able to perform that way. I don't understand our justice system. It makes me sick to my stomach that we continue to find imbalances the way we do. But we do, right? We see it every day with police officers. We need police reform, criminal justice reform, and a whole bunch of other stuff that we're not going to get into today. But I'm telling you, if we need to look at something, this is what we need to look at. How women are continuing to be treated, how the system is continuing to be, moved along, how the police force are allowed to do whatever they've been able to do with very to little no responsibility or accountability. But I just want you to know I was outraged. And I fully support this advice. I really do. Phylicia Rashad, you don't. And now, Dean Phylicia Rashad, you are dismissed. Until next time, remember folks, you too can be the king of your village. No matter where you are in the world, do something.
I am the king and will not be. I am the king.